Well, it's very nice to be here with you. Thank you, Pastor, for being willing to give up your pulpit for a Sunday. I told him before the service that most pastors are not willing to do that. And so it's very nice. It's very nice to be able to speak to you. Thank you for reading the scripture. I don't hear your name. Jenna? Thank you. You did it with passion. I really love that because those are the scriptures that I'm going to be using today. And I couldn't have asked for someone better to read that. When I walked in here today, I realized that I was different than most of you. I'm wearing Western boots. And as Frank just said, I was in China. And I was in Jinan. I don't know whether you know where Jinan is. It's in Shandong province. And I know I'm pronouncing those names all wrong because my Chinese is not very good. They speak Mandarin there. So I would say normally ni hao. Do you understand that? Oh, okay. So I don't know very much Cantonese. But I was there for 3 months teaching at a university there, and I was teaching American law. There's reasons for that, but they want to know something about American law. I was teaching students and professors of the law school. And to be quite frank, I was about the only, my wife and I were the only people that looked white, like this. And so you could spot us on the campus very easily. And I wore a three-piece suit. And by the way, I see that you're a very casual church, like my church is. But I continue to wear a three-piece suit for 2 reasons. One is because it's my work clothes. I'm a lawyer, and I wear these clothes to work. The second one is, just in case somebody walks in and hasn't been to church for a long time, and they still think that they should be wearing a certain suit and tie, I don't want them to feel out of place. So I sacrifice myself wearing a suit and tie. The third reason, actually, that I wore this suit is because I'm not ordained. I can't wear a collar like you, Pastor. So I have to do the next best thing. I do want to speak today, and by the way, I was told that pastors' sermons are about 15 minutes long. And I do not attend a church that only has 15-minute sermons. So I have my watch out. I'm going to try to watch it and try to keep it as close to 15 minutes as possible. Reminds me of a story. This little kid was in the church service, and he's sitting next to his dad, and he tugs on his dad. He says, "Daddy, what does it mean when the pastor keeps looking at his watch?" And the dad says, "Nothing, son, nothing." So I'm going to try to. That took a second, didn't it? I'm going to try to end my speaking before you end your listening. Hospitality in the church. Romans 12 starts off with that great exhortation that we offer ourselves a living sacrifice. And it goes on, these are great words, it's a great chapter. And then Paul talks about other things about what that looks like in real life. Giving us examples. And starting with verse 9, the verse that was read, he talks about love and gives examples of what love looks like. Now, of course, we know 1 Corinthians 13, which talks about love. It's not 2 Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 13. Talks about love. But this is one, and as you read, love must be sincere. Cling to what is good. Be devoted one to another in brotherly love. Honor one another above yourself. Be joyful in hope. Patient affliction. I'm just skipping around here. And the verse that I really like is the verse that I use as one of my verses for when I talk about hospitality. It's verse 13, and it says, share with God's people who are in need. And then in my version it says, be hospitable. Or in the version that was read, practice hospitality. And this is important. Hospitality is normally thought of in context of your home, of your house. And that's very important, and I am not going to minimize that because that's very important. But what I want to do is I want to talk to it in the context of the church here, this church, and focusing on transferring some of the concepts that you would use at home, being hospitable, with being hospitable here in church. Taking some of those principles and putting them into focus here. Have you thought about the concept of hospitality in church? Most of the people don't, because it seems like it's a given. Of course, we are a church. Of course, we're going to welcome people. Of course, we're going to be a hospital for hurting people. Of course, all of those things. But you know what? The of course happens so much that sometimes we forget the basics of being hospitable. It seems so axiomatic, so natural that a church is going to be hospitable, but we sometimes forget those basics. And by the way, I'm going to be talking a lot about being hospitable to visitors. But I want you to understand, those are not the only people that need hospitality. At my church, I'm involved, I'm one of the leaders of our ushers. And one of the points that I make is, be hospitable to everyone, especially the visitors. Did you get that? Be hospitable to everyone, especially the visitors. There are a lot of people that come to this church. And you, and some of you, many of you, have probably been here for years and years and years. And whether somebody is hospitable to you that Sunday or not, you'll probably keep returning. But that does not give us the privilege of not being hospitable to our brothers and sisters. We should be hospitable to everyone. And so what I tell my ushers is, be hospitable to everyone, especially the visitors. One of the ways that we can be hospitable is smiling. And I'm going to get to that in the hospitality part of my sermon in just a few minutes, but smiling. And looking out at this congregation a little bit early in the morning, but you know, I think if you want to be hospitable to me, you need to smile at me. I'm looking, okay. Not just a smile, I've got a laugh. Okay. But especially the visitors. I'm a visitor here. You're going to have an opportunity to be hospitable to me for this sermon, for this sermon for this day. And you can practice some of the things that I'm going to be talking to you about. But be hospitable to everyone, to your brothers and sisters, but especially the visitors. These visitors may be visiting San Francisco and look your church up in the phone book or online. I found my church in the phone book, but that was way before they had online, so that's 11 years ago. They may be visiting relatives here in San Francisco. They may desire a relationship with God. They may be looking for a place for worship or a place to learn about God. These are the people that walk through those doors that especially have need of hospitality, thing that you need to welcome them. I have walked by your church, I don't know how many times, and never noticed it. Because my office was just over this way, and I was going to Chinatown to a restaurant over this way, and I've cut through that alley I don't know how many times. I've parked across the street and walked through this alley. And you know, either I saw the church and it didn't register, or I never saw this church. But there are people that do know about this church, that do see this church, and will come through those doors, who you may not know. It may be their first time, and those are the people that you want to be hospitable to. To most of you, I'm the stranger. To most of you, I'm the person that needs and desires hospitality. James, as was read, gives us a negative illustration of hospitality, and he does it in the context of favoritism. And you did such a great job reading that, but I just want to underscore the difference. And I'm going to read most of it again. It says, suppose a man comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring and fine clothes. Okay, I'm wearing a gold ring and I'm wearing fine clothes. Now, Frank said, you may want to sit in one of the rows closer to the front. Little did I know it was the youth row. And more children came, and I was feeling younger and younger. And thank you for that lesson on Timothy. He was looking right at my row. Thank you so much. But so I may be the one person, but then it says, and suppose a poor man in shabby clothes also comes in. And by the way, this is one of the things that I tell my ushers. We should not discriminate against people, what they're wearing, the way they look. I don't know what your drop-in crowd is here. I know there's a lot of people that hang out in that park right out there. We're in the Mission District, and we have some drop-ins of people that are homeless, that are probably on some kind of drugs, that are quite possibly inebriated. We have those kinds of people. And I tell them our job is not to judge those people. There is a scripture that talks about people in the Old Testament used to entertain angels unaware. Angels used to come, and there were appearances of angels in the Old Testament people didn't know about. And sometimes I tell my ushers, angels, God may be sending angels to check out how well you treat other people. And I've often said this, do you think God's going to send them looking like this? And saying, please, sir, tell me where to sit. Oh, thank you. No, he's probably going to send somebody who's shabbily dressed saying, what is this place? I've never been here. Is this a funeral parlor or what? Can I sit in? Please. And if I would say, maybe you should come back another time, maybe then God will pick up and say, you made a judgment there. So I'm always very concerned about what kind of judgments I make about people who are coming in. And so a shabby man comes in with shabby clothes. If you show special attention to the man wearing the clothes and say, here's a good seat for you. But to the poor man, you say, why don't you stand over there, sit here on the floor. Have you not discriminated against yourself and become judges with evil thoughts? Listen, my dear brothers, has not God chosen those who are poor in the eyes of the world to be rich in faith and to inherit the kingdom He promised those who love Him? And you probably don't get very many people who are poorer than people who are homeless. And it seems like God has a special place for them. But you have insulted the poor. Is it not the rich? I'm a lawyer, remember that. Is it not the rich who have exploited you? Are they not the ones who are dragging you into court? And I try never to drag Christians into court. Are they not the ones who are slandering the noble name of Him to whom you belong? In this story, we have a congregation that gives special treatment to a well-dressed gentleman and gives poor treatment to a shabbily dressed man. And yes, the argument could be made that the well-dressed man did get some hospitality. We don't understand necessarily the motivation behind that, but obviously the poor man gets very little hospitality. And James underscores, trying to make sure you understand, don't do this, because these are the exploiters. These are the people that take you to court. These are the people that slander the name of Jesus. And you're going to, from outward appearance, you're going to give them special treatment. Don't do that. I don't understand God's economy, but it seems like He has a special place for poor people, for the disadvantaged. for the handicapped. You know, and we're not to discriminate against those. But you know, if we stop right here at verse 8, we have a sad story and a commentary. And we've got a challenge for ourselves, but we don't have a solution. But James didn't stop there, and we shouldn't stop there, because in verse 9 it says, if you really keep the royal law found in the scriptures, you're doing right. And what's the royal law? Love your neighbor as yourself. And by the way, I'm not going to get more into that. Pastors probably preach many sermons on who is our neighbor. You know, but if you don't know that, you can talk to Pastor afterwards. He's going to tell you who your neighbor is. But apparently, your neighbor is even people that you're not supposed to like. Whoa. Okay, I'm not going to go there. Pastor, you can do that. But it's the basis of hospitality. Think about it. If you and I really practice these 5 words, love your neighbor as yourself. That's yourself, it's a compound word, it's only one word. If you really practice these 5 words, think about how different your life will be. If you got your neighbors to pass and people in this congregation to practice these 5 words, what a difference in your life. If you got San Francisco to practice these 5 words, if you got California to practice these 5 words, if you got America to practice, if you got the world to practice these 5 words, think about it. No robberies, no lying, no stealing, no murders, no wars, and just maybe no politicians.
No.
Never happened. You know, I can advocate that, but I know it's not going to happen because I read the Bible. I know it's not going to happen. But I know that it can happen. And where it can happen is in my life. That's all I can be accountable for. My life. I know that I can love my neighbor as myself. Now I have to give you a warning. I'm not perfect. I would love you to have you follow me around every day and you would say, oh, this guy is perfect. He's loving everybody as himself. And you're going to be disappointed. But that doesn't stop me from trying. It doesn't stop me from trying. And that's what we're supposed to do when we are trying to make people feel welcome here in this church. It doesn't stop me from continuing to be friendly and engaging and trying to put people at ease at my church. Here's my challenge to you. Make people welcome at your church by practicing hospitality. And I want to give you some suggestions. I'm going to give you 6 suggestions. Very quickly. But before I do, I want you to think about yourself. And I want to think about do a love and relationship assessment. Love comes from God. I'm a very simplistic Christian. I just believe the Bible. And it says God is love. God comes from love. Love comes from God. I'm sorry. And to have the love of God in us takes a relationship with God. So I'm always talking about not necessarily being a Christian or being saved or some of those terms. I'm talking about having a relationship with God. I'm not asking you to manufacture love. Okay? I'm asking you to have a loving relationship with Almighty God, the creator of the universe, which is awe-inspiring, creator of the universe, who can exude love through you. Exude love through you. The principles that I give you are not going to work for you or other people if you try to manufacture them. They'll work for a little while maybe, but not very long. We're all We need to be a conduit so that God's love can come to us. So let me give you the first of the 6 principles that I want to give to you. The first one I've already mentioned. Smile. Yes, thank you. Oh, close. Yes, I love that one. Great. I can't see hardly back there. Yes. Smile. Now, I am not naive. I know that there are reasons in a congregation this size why you may not smile. Maybe you've got a tough employment situation. Maybe you just had an argument with your spouse or your parents, before you came here. Maybe you've got some personal issues. Maybe, well, you can make up the list yourself. But that, I don't think that gives you the privilege of taking it out on visitors or your brothers and sisters. If you've got reasons not to smile, put those aside. And the first principle to make people feel welcome is to smile. To make me feel welcome is to smile. I'm feeling about 50% of it. Okay. Okay, the second one, something that we do pretty naturally. Talk. If it takes an effort for you to smile, it's going to take an even bigger effort for you to talk. But talk to people. But a lot of people say, well, what do I say after I say, hi, how are you? I'm strapped. I don't know what to say. And I've got a whole session on that, but I'm going to give you just really fast some 3 principles. Number 1, ask questions. Number 2, answer your own questions, because if you keep asking questions of somebody, you're prying in their lives. But if you keep telling them the answers to how many children do you have? Oh, I have 4. Where do you live? Oh, I live in David City. What do you do? Oh, I'm a lawyer. All those things, you're not digging into their lives. They're getting to know more about you. Look for things in common. In my church, everybody knows who I am in my church. In my church, guess who gets introduced to every lawyer that visits and every law student? Or every person that wants to be a law student? Me. Why? Because you get 2 lawyers together and you can't stop talking. Okay. Now, one of the things, so you look for things in common, but keep questions away from politics, religion, and other controversial topics. You don't want to ruin the relationship right at the beginning, okay? Number 3, keep your mind off yourself. Focus on the other person. If you're trying to welcome people and make them feel welcome here, don't worry about, do I sign my teeth? Do I have dandruff on my shoulders? You're focused on them and their needs, not you. Okay? Let's get the viewpoint off. And yes, if you go to the bathroom later on and you had somebody treat your teeth, they're probably going to remember that, but what they're going to really remember is how friendly you were. That's really important. 4th one, introduce them to other people in your church, especially those people that have something in common. If I meet people and they only know me, Ed Litwin, well, I may not be in church. I'm not in church today, my church today. If they're looking for me, they're not going to see me. But if they're looking for somebody else that I introduce them to, then they can come and they're going to feel welcome. Okay, number 5, create a relationship. Now, I know you're not going to do this. You're not going to have a deep relationship with them right away, but let them find out about you. Let them know who you are. Let them know that you're a real human being. Let them know that you're a fellow pilgrim trying to do the best you can as you are traveling towards heaven. That you're not perfect. I've already told you that I'm not perfect. How many of you believe I'm perfect? You better not see one hand out there. You better not see one hand. So create a relationship. And the last one that I want to give you is love them. Okay, we talked about love. Love them. Demonstrate love through your words, through your concern, through your helpfulness. All of these things will demonstrate love to other people. They'll pick up on it. Love them. So these are 6 principles to get you started. Listen to these. Smile. Talk. Keep your mind off yourself. Introduce them to other people. Create a relationship. Love them. Get the sermon online. Is this going to be online? Okay. Remember those. Those are 6 principles. There's more. If you want to learn more, come to this afternoon's session. We're going to be doing a whole workshop for an hour, or an hour and a half. Okay, longer than 15 minutes. Longer than 20 minutes. And you're going to learn a lot more principles. But if you could put those principles into practice with your brothers and sisters and with people that may be visiting, walking through that door for the very first time, if you put 1 or 2 or 3 of those principles into practice, you will be you will be a welcoming church, a welcoming church. Let's make people desire to come here to church. Both the regular attenders, there are other things you could be doing today. There are other places you could be. You could be out in the San Francisco Marathon right this minute. Because you'd be slower like me and you'd still be running. Others probably have already finished, but they could be other places. Let's make them want to be here. If visitors come through that door, let's make them want to come back just by doing some of these things. Smiling, talking, keeping your mind off yourself, introducing them to other people, creating a relationship, and loving them. Good words.